So we know.
See, it's so awesome because you're in a position where like you own 2 properties and
Correct.
you rent out the properties and you make good money house hacking these.
do.
You're profiting a lot. And it seems like you're pretty stable financially. So you're at a place where you'll be able to take these sort of risks to do what you want and make the exact type of content that you want because you're comfortable enough to be able to do all of that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the turning point. Today is the turning point. This is a big moment for me because over the past couple years, I've had a lot of struggles financially. It's also, Graham, you were someone that I followed for years. Like I spent 5 years trying to grow on YouTube. I really wanted to. I just wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
If you look at my old video, they're not good. And I couldn't grow, but I always looked at you and I was like, okay, if Graham can do it, if the upside is what he's making, this is worth it. There's a concept by Nassim Taleb called asymmetric outcomes. And what you look at is, if you look at 5 years of YouTube, let's just use numbers, say it's a minus 100 loss every year from energy, time, and a little bit of money, minus 100. Well, if the upside is an income of 50,000 a month or a year or whatever, it's worth it. And so that's what I always viewed. If you're the upside, every amount, if it takes me 8 years, I'm going to do it. If it takes me 10 years, I'm going to do it because if that's the upside, it's worth it. The outcome is worth the amount, whatever the amount of time is. And so today, getting on this podcast was indicative of an end to the previous phase where I lost all my money flipping houses. I had the current house I come in, it $120,000 of renovations. I mean, it was wild. So listen to this real quick. I lost all my money flipping houses in Cincinnati. 2 properties, lost about $90,000 between the 2. I got to a point I had to sell my car, was riding the bus 4 hours to and from work every day. As I was growing on YouTube, I was riding the bus 2 hours every night just to get home. And then so I get out and then I start to rehab my current house hack. I wanted to make it a little nicer before I officially bought it. Well, we get into the rehab and there's a sewage problem underneath the house. Do you know what that means? Bring in the jackhammer, baby.
Yeah.
So some of these videos that have done really well, I was doing that. I had to wait until the jackhammer completed in my, I've got videos I'll show you after this. There was a jackhammer in my house for 2 weeks. And I had to wait until I have people living in my house, working from home with a jackhammer. So it was a $31,000 expense. I had concrete around. It ended up being about $110,000 rehab.
Wow.
And so I went through with that, and that I was spending money I didn't have. Like I was putting all in credit cards, and then as YouTube money came in, I paid it off. And now, right when I got to the point of being even, meaning all my debts paid from previous renovations, I get sued. So it's like, there's been so many setbacks, man. But like, I'm so optimistic. Like I'm probably one of the most optimistic people you meet. All I do is look forward. There's no looking back. Look forward.
Are you worried about flying a little too close to the sun?
No, not at all.
Really?
I'm arrogant in this way. I will always find an answer. Always. I always have, and I always will.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, of course.
It is. Okay.
I'm in the high growth.
Quite well.
Yeah, I'm in the high growth stage now. Like I don't need much in life. I just bought a Tesla. I have a roof over my head. I'm super simple with food. Like I'm not a foodie. I don't need jewelry. There's nothing I need.
Yeah.
What I want is opportunity. And I have that right now. Right now I'm experiencing hyper growth. I'm sure you remember that stage with the podcast. You guys are killing it. Like that growth there's no high that can match that. There's no drug that can match that high when you start growing, well, at least for us on YouTube. And so I'm in a great spot right now where I have the opportunity to reach the goals that I set out for myself. And to me, that's all that I want.
Is it worth potentially risking that? Let's say there's a 5% chance, 1 in 20 chance that you talk about the wrong person, you get a big lawsuit, and they just drill it in.
Sure.
And you lose all of that growth. You get the stress on top of that. Everything you've worked for in that hyper growth phase is risked.
It can happen, man. It can happen anytime. Anything can happen in life. There's a quote in Fight Club, it's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. And I was down to, dude, I couldn't buy, I had ripped shoes that I was walking on when it rained, that sucked. I was riding the bus 4 hours to, I'm researching videos on YouTube and I got like a crackhead behind me.
Yeah.
Dude, there's not much lower than that. I could barely afford food. So I was like strategically spending money. I would pay my minimum on the credit card and then that would allow me to buy food, right? Because you pay the minimum, now you have like $100 remaining. Well, that's my food budget for the next however much. So like once you go through that, man, you're free to do anything. I'm happy. I'm good. I've got a car. Dude, go 2 years without a car in Las Vegas. You'll appreciate the car.
Yeah, you
so
told me you were
much.
riding the bus everywhere. In fact, you were almost going to ride a bus here.
Yeah,
but fortunately, the Tesla came in time.
I was almost gonna have to. I was like looking at the route. Hey, Jack, can you pick me up?
Yeah.